All righty, traders, let's jump into a small account portfolio review today. End of the month happened yesterday on 7/31. So let's take a look at how the month ended and where we are trading a small account. Now, this account, we started in the Income Navigator service as a $10,000 account at the beginning of this year. And we want to make sure that not only can we trade larger portfolios, which sometimes is a lot easier, but we can also trade smaller portfolios for those with smaller accounts using very similar strategies. I haven't done a lot of posts on the small accounts. I wanted to make sure that we get one out today and just review the month a bit and show you what we're doing in the small account, and then we can take it from there. So let's take a look at the results for the month. Yesterday, we ended the small account with a delta of 6 and a theta of 29, which is 0.22%. That's pretty standard for this account. It's very difficult to get above 0.3. We're trying to get back there, but also got to keep our buying power in check. When you're trading a small account and you're trading futures like we are, then you're also going to be looking at potentially a lot bigger hits when it comes to span margin as well. So I want to make sure that we aren't over trading in this smaller account, and we'll go through exactly how things look in this particular account as well as we go. So let's jump into the rest of the numbers here. Net lick ended the month up at 13,475. That is a new all-time high for this account. BP usage jumped a bit to 7304. I don't know that number is 100% right because it was right after the bell, and sometimes tasty trade numbers just aren't correct after the bell. Showed a 57% BP usage, a little high on the 54%. We ended up today with a $58 realized gain, which took us up to $907 in realized income for the month. So we were able to generate $907 on an account that started somewhere in the neighborhood of 12,000 and change. So it's a pretty good return. In fact, it was a 7.1% return in the account this month. And overall, our net lick grew $700 on this account, which was a 5.5% return. So 7.1% realized income and a 5.5% monthly gain on our net lick. And let's take a look at what transpired in the month of July. So you can see the July trades are all recorded in here. We had a handful of different things going on this month. So we had 2 futures strangles expiring, one on CL or oil. That one netted us $320 on that one. And then we also had one expire on gold. Both those didn't take a long time. So the oil one took 30 days. Gold only took 19 days to get 50% returns on those. So pretty nice gains right there. Those two alone, $520 worth of gains in an account. So almost a 5% return on just those 2 trades alone. And we're also trading the 112 trades, but we use MES in this particular situation. We were able to take off one of the naked puts in our August 18th 112. So we closed the naked puts for, I remember what it was. I think it was 85 cents. Yeah, so $1.70 because we multiplied it by 2. So that gave us a 94% return on that trade, and the put debit spread is still working. I did have a put debit spread expire on the 21st on one of the 112 trades that we had already closed the naked puts on. I don't count that as a win. It's just expired. Now, had we potentially made more money on it, then we would have recorded the additional income here. But since I already closed that particular trade for a win, I'm not going to count it twice in my account. So we'd actually closed that naked put back here on what was it, June 21st. and counted it as a win then, and recorded the income on the naked puts. Then we also had two other plays that closed. We do sell weekly puts on MES here. We've been going out about 90 days, selling close to 5 delta on those, and we'll be closing them at a 50% win. Now, yesterday we got a gift from who knows where on the account, because we actually placed this trade yesterday morning for $11.50 credit, and it closed somehow 2 hours later for $5.75 debit. So we made our 50% on that trade in 2 hours. So it's a pretty unusual occurrence that doesn't happen very often, but we will take that anyway. So it's a nice way to end the day with that $58. So again, $906 to the good in July, and then we'll start to worry about August going forward. In this small account, let's take a quick look and see how this account is set up. All right, and here's what this account looks like right now. So here's what we have currently on in trade. So we have one strangle on futures, and that is our oil strangle, and this thing right now is at a 36.6%. So that's in great shape. Nothing we have to do on that particular one. And then we also have the remains of the PDS of a 112 trade for August 18th that we already closed. If you remember, I just covered that. But we closed the put debit spreads in July on the 21st. So that put debit spread's free. We'll just let that thing go. If the market takes off to the downside, and drops 700 points, we'll get something out of it. If not, we've got a September 112, an October 112, and a November 112 all working in this particular account. Unlike the larger account, I cannot put more on than I have currently because of the buying power. But we were able to do really a quantity of 2 contracts, which means 4 naked puts and 2 of the put debit spreads on contracts. So these trades are pretty nice, considering I'm opening them for roughly $22, $20, $23 on average. So these trades are going to net somewhere in the neighborhood of 220, 200 and $20 or something like that. Who knows? So 203, 235, 225, somewhere in the neighborhood on those, depending on what happens when I close the naked puts. And then I'm also have these 3 MES 90 DTE naked puts on. 2 of them right now, the oldest one, which is 14 days old, that's at 30%, getting closer to 50. The one from last week's at 20% already. And then I did put another one on this morning, which is already up 2%. But I did put this one on because the one I was doing yesterday closed in 2 hours for some inexplicable reason. So somebody got a bad fill on the buy side, which helped me on the sale side. So you can see that we're sitting here at about 12 delta, about 34 theta. So our numbers are up a bit. Buying power is 65.80. So as you can see, during the day, the buying power is a little bit more realistic on this particular trade. So this is where we are. This is what our small account, our smart portfolio looks like. Again, we opened it for $10,000 at the beginning of the year. You can see here we're up over $2,000. So we're up 20% in this account this year, halfway through. So we're well on our way to doing pretty well in this particular account, and very minimal management. We don't really have to look at it every day. Very few things we need to do. We got a handful of trades on right now. There's just 4 trades. Well, I'm sorry, we have 7 trades working. So not a whole lot to pay attention to here. We can handle 7 trades. So this is what that small account looks like. Again, something to keep an eye on here as we trade through our small account portfolio. You can trade these strategies in a small account with 10 grand. You can trade them in a medium account with 50. You can trade them in a larger account with $1 million. You can trade them in IRAs. We're going to do an IRA video next, and we'll recap the month in the IRA. IRAs are a little bit more difficult than they are in the other accounts, just because of the margin usage. that we get, but we're still doing very, very well in the IRA accounts that we have here. All right. There's what the small account looks like, and you can certainly lay these out in a variety of different ways. For me, this is the best way to use the money in this particular account and get pretty good returns, average 30 to 40% a year on this particular type of account. All right, everybody enjoy a fantastic rest of your day, and we will see you in the next video. Take care and trade smart.